Oh boy, am I ever.
We're good to clap. So, three, two, one.
Clap.
Welcome to the Hunters Hub. This is your host Fortuan, joined by co-host Morg. How you doing, bud?
Oh boy, I am glad to be back after, let me see, 2 weeks of no internet, a night shift that I didn't plan on, and Thanksgiving that I just celebrated last weekend. So yeah, it's back again finally for once.
Yeah, and just so the audience knows who aren't aware, we did not time travel. Uh, Canada has a different Thanksgiving date than we do.
Yeah, it's like the second weekend in October. It's different.
Yeah, it's
I don't
like
know. Maybe it's because we just need an actual holiday, like an actual stat that people can take off.
ours is specifically like I think the third Thursday of November.
The third Thursday.
Yeah, that's why we have Black Friday, because Black Friday is when Christmas starts. Christmas shopping, quote unquote, starts.
Uh,
But, I've seen Christmas decorations up since beginning of October. So I'm not normally the person who's like all excited for Halloween and stuff, but I did relay a couple really funny memes that had Jack Skellington kicking Santa into a well, saying this is Halloween, like this is
oh my God.
like this is Sparta. This is Halloween. And then, yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are going to still keep that debate going whether or not A Night Before Christmas is a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie, and I say it's both.
Yeah, I was like gonna say, why not both? Both is good. That's when people do the commercial, it's a little girl and she's like, why not both? Right? That
Why not both? And they're
that
like, yeah.
that gif or whatever. My favorite is
Yes,
from the Road to El Dorado when they're like, which
that was
one?
good.
He's
Yeah.
like, both,
Both?
both,
Both?
both,
Both is
both is
good.
good. They're like both. Both? Oh, I love it. So to belatedly explain, this is the Hunter's Hub is a video game podcast born of the Monster Hunter community. Of course, we still talk about Monster Hunter quite a bit. We will be talking about it quite a bit today, especially with Morg being as awesome of a hunter as he is and missing a lot of news and updates and stuff lately. But we're
Oh boy, there's a lot.
yeah. Um, so what we're going to be focusing on for like a main topic is paid and unpaid DLC. So we're going to make it into a broader topic, but as Monster Hunter fans know, this is a hot topic right now, because what we got was these paid DLC cosmetic weapon skins,
hmm
and what it's weird to me because we haven't had paid DLC cosmetics in Monster Hunter until Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World's the first time
Exactly.
that we had that. And if you imagine, like, most people started in World or very soon before that or whatever. So some people just like, okay, that's just par for the course for Monster Hunter. A lot of local friends here didn't really get into Monster Hunter. One of them not even until Rise. Um, so they're not aware of some of the stuff that we've experienced as hunters before the games. Not saying get off my lawn. Back in my day, Rathalos was a skinny chicken necked. You know, but
The
um,
Goblin, yes.
yeah. But it's been a newer thing in the Monster Hunter community, so we're still trying to feel it out. I'm sure Capcom's trying to feel it out too, because they're kind of known, at least the Monster Hunter team, for being the poster child of like good content on a game, large amounts of
hmm
content, large amounts of hours, and I think this whole ordeal, to me, and I'll let you speak on this in just a second, Morg, is
hmm
is a two factor issue compounding down. So what we have is the games are not getting shorter per se, but the playtime is getting shorter because it's getting easier. And
hmm
on top of it getting easier, we're like, okay, so why not have more content? Now, when we say more content, like more quests, more monsters, yada yada yada, like you can, and I was holding out for a while for Rise and Sunbreak to have more content than World and Iceborne. Not that World and Iceborne was going to match up to Generations Ultimate, which we just got done playing, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't come near. And as a fan, that's a little disappointing, but you understand it's a new engine, new way of doing Monster Hunter, totally revamped system. So we got lesser but more quality monsters, I would say. Well, I always think every monster's quality aside from King Shakalaka, which can still just go die in a fucking hole. But I that's the only monster I hate. Which I hate that they keep referencing him in different Monster Hunter games and not giving him, but just torturing me. Like with the Geralt quest in World, where we got the King Shakalaka little side mission monster.
Yep. Yep. I remember that. Yep. Oh my gosh. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like the first time that I fought King Shakalaka, like it was a complete surprise to me. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I thought it was just a slightly bigger Shakalaka, but then once like the fight music kicks in and you're like, wait a minute, something is not right. And then you see that he's dealing huge chunks of damage to you, and you're
Right.
like, oh my god.
And
And,
it
he's not flinching you either, so
Yeah.
he's just racking the damage up.
That's why I don't like
Him
him
and his-
because he doesn't follow the rules of other monsters. He doesn't knock you back when you get hit. So he just combos you down. It's like if you played Elden Ring, it's like fighting blood loss. You're like, ow, 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 I'm dead.
Yeah, pretty much. For King Shakalaka, I think like he's one of those few I don't want to say monsters, but like one of those few fights that you get into where like ever since I first fought him, he's always terrified the crap out of me. And I had no idea how to deal with him like the first couple of times that I fought him because God, like he was so tiny, he was so fast, and
Yeah.
he just packed such a wallop.
It took a lot of
But he had some
concentration.
pretty cool moves.
He does. I will admit that he's a cool monster in concept, but his fight alone is what makes me hate him. Like his fight, how it breaks the rules of every other monster in that game. Now, we're going back to Freedom Unite, talking about King Shakalaka.
Yeah.
This is generations behind where we're at now. But today we got we have these paid DLC things that are newer to the franchise, and I think people are really like me, like, okay, so where's the content? Oh, you worked on a content that we had to pay for instead of giving us more monsters as etc. I'm not saying I hold that opinion, but I am one of the people that I feel like I would rather just have more monsters. Now for me, I would rather have more monsters in lieu of Afflicted, Apex, all those extra mechanic things that they try to do in the end game. I get what you're doing. I get what you're doing, Monster Hunter Team. You want us to have a fun, grindy end game where we can do something. And I'm for that. But just make it normal monsters, please. Like, it helps with crown hunting. It helps with other content. I don't want, if you want to put in special materials for those quests, that's fine. Just put them on the quest rewards like you did with Camillus. All right? Don't make it an afflicted. That's not what we're here to talk about. You guys have heard me rant about this. Morg hasn't, but I've ranted about this at least 4 times. Where I have.
Oh wow, 4 times! You feel very strongly about this. I had no idea.
I do.
And here I am. I've been playing Rise every now and then when I get the chance, and I'm like fighting afflicted monsters. I'm like, damn, this is the difficulty that I was asking for. Like this is something that actually makes it like really fun.
I don't disagree. It is difficult enough that it's challenging and fun. I just would rather we have, like, in a perfect example, Risen Camillus versus Afflicted Monsters. Now, Risen
Camillus.
Oh, a fun, challenging subspecies of a monster we already have. That's fine. I love it. Acceptable. Some new moves, but we're not dealing with all these weird mechanics where they change up the fight so much. And I love Malzeno, and I love his Blood Blight and stuff, but giving Malzeno's Blood Blight to nearly every monster is a little much, guys. Like, come on. Like, Morg, I am so passionate, but this Game of the Year we do, right? And we have a dishonorable mention.
Yeah.
Rise was sitting on my dishonorable mention for a little while. Like I moved it to
Oh
dishonorable.
no.
I moved it to dishonorable mention over the afflicted stuff. Like
Oh.
I was that passionate. It is no longer on the dishonorable mention. I don't think you were here to see it more, but we are now going to do 10 and we're going to split it into 2 episodes this year instead of
Oh.
doing a top 5. So I hope you've played 10
Mm-hmm.
games this year that you enjoy.
Oh boy. Oh, that's going to be very, very hard for me to decide on what kind of games are going to be on my list. But yeah, I think
Oh,
right pretty high on that list right now. I mean, like it's still pretty good. Like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, we have paid cosmetics as far as weapons go, but I mean, like the way that some people have been like kind of like boycotting or rebelling. I'm not quite sure like how you would
Oh, you
voice it,
mean the
but like
good, the room kicking over it?
yes,
That's
yes, that is
unacceptable.
like that
That
is so mean. It is
yeah,
so unnecessary. I mean, like if people want to be able to, support the developers by, buying that kind of content, that's totally fine. If they think that the weapons look cool, that's totally fine.
yeah.
I mean, I'm still trying to get the Senator axe. Like for some strange reason, I can't get the big blue chopper as a layered weapon. I don't know why, but I mean, whatever. Maybe I have to get into the game a little bit, into the late game a little bit further. But yeah.
I'll have to
And then
look that
also
up.
for some strange reason, I have no access to the anti-aquatic jewel. So I don't know if I had access to it via paying for it. I guess I would call me a sinner, but
Hmm.
no, but I mean, like honestly, like cosmetic weapons, they're not changing the meta. There's no competitive aspect to the game. It's a
No.
cooperative game. The
Yeah.
only competitive aspect to it is like self-imposed competitions. Time
Well,
attacks. That's really where it
the
is.
yeah, I was gonna say people would argue the time attackers, but you know my
Hmm.
opinion with the time attackers. I love you guys. You're
The time
wonderful.
attack.
You're wonderful Monster Hunter community members, but I don't. The game's not designed for you, and I don't have any sympathy for that.
No, no, like ever since Curious Crafting came out for like for the armors, no, it started to show more and more that it is not for time attackers, especially
Mm-mm.
considering that time attackers, the Curious Crafting on PC is actually much more efficient than it is for console players.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, like now they're trying to grind out like I think it's like 4 or 5 pages worth of skills in order to get the ultimate meta sets, and that way they can crush their times by like another 2 or 3 minutes. It is it is something that I am so glad I do not strive for. Um,
Yeah.
I feel bad for them, but on the same note, I mean, like that's something that they chose to get themselves into, but that much was free. We're not paying to have to do like curious crafting. It's
No.
not a gotcha game where you have to buy amber essence in order to be able to get your rolls, in order for you to be able to try and get meta skills on your
Right.
builds. um
So what would it look like if Monster Hunter had loot boxes? Which I think the general consensus now
oh
that loot boxes have kind of gone out of style because they're considered gambling in most countries at this point.
I'm
So
pretty sure that the loot box system would be you having to pay for every time that you fight a monster. Um,
now I would
because
say
because the reward
charms.
system basically functions like that.
I would say charms would be in the loot box system. That's what I would see.
Yeah.
Something that is that level of randomness that maybe there's like,
Mm-hmm.
or they made an extra item. Now, I'm not advocating for this in the slightest. This is just saying, like, there have been worse mechanics in other games. I feel like Monster Hunter's randomness is part of what makes it Monster Hunter. But
Mm-hmm.
I really, really would rather the randomness mostly stick to the monster drops rather
Mm-hmm.
than like, okay, charms, we've been dealing with this since third gen, off and on how this sort of mechanic works out and that kind of thing, and it's certainly gotten better over the years,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's I'm used to it. So some people don't like
Mm-hmm.
it, but I'm used to it since like what 2009 is when Try came out. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we're talking
Yeah.
13 years of me doing this.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, like RNG charms is not really the worst of it. I think the
No.
worst of it that I have seen is the Kulturov siege in high rank. That is probably the worst
Yes.
RNG system that I had ever seen for any of the Monster Hunter games. Is RNG weapons that you have to grind out for every single siege that you do. It may take you 4 runs just for you to be able to get that one roll, and those rolls aren't even guaranteed for you to be able to get what you're looking for. You have to
No.
be able to get like all the points that you get from breaking specific parts on her, to be able, to doing like those random like check off, like those random tasks that you have to do on the checkboard for the list of stuff that you have to do in order for you to be able to rack up enough points in order for you to even be able to get those rare rolls. And those rare rolls don't even guarantee that you're even going to get what you're looking for, because you have, what is it, 5 elements, 4 ailments, and 14 different weapons.
Right.
Like, are you guaranteeing like that you're going to be able to get what you're looking for, or are you hoping to just craft the weapons? That was something that I wanted.
Yes.
And you couldn't even use her materials to get better rolls until master rank, when I, bitched and complained about it enough times on Twitter back when I was on it. Thank God I'm not.
I still am. In fact,
yeah,
I
mean,
just
like, you couldn't use.
I just
Yeah.
tweeted us being live. I forgot to do that before the episode because I was too busy washing a giant train in Power Wash Simulator.
Oh, lovely. Well, now everybody knows. But yeah, I mean, like, honestly, yeah, like high rank Kulturalth is probably the worst that I've seen. The Arch-Tempered Elders is actually worse than the Afflicted Monsters, in my opinion, because
I agree.
they're basically the same thing. Like, they're basically the same fight with bloated health values,
Yep.
and with more damage. It's not different, in my opinion. At least with the Afflicted Monsters, at least they have this ticking time bomb going off, where it's like, oh, well, I have to hit this damage threshold so in that way I can get a topple, or otherwise he's just gonna blow up in this afflicted cloud or whatever.
Right.
At least they have some sort of a gimmick.
It's a DPS
Whereas
check.
Arch-Tempered Monsters, they had no gimmick. They were just shiny. I mean, that was it. You didn't use them to be able to make new weapons.
Yep.
Afflicted Monsters allow you to do it. New armor, well, Curious Crafting allows you to be able to get important skills and slots, and even defense boosts and stuff like that, elemental boosts and stuff like that on your gear. And it's randomly generated, but at least it was something that we got out of them. Most of the Arch-Tempered gear wasn't even very good, except for, I think, the Teostra helmet. Okay, yeah, sure, great. And maybe the Namiel, and I believe Arch-Tempered Velkhana, but that's Iceborne.
I use the
if we were looking at like base world.
I use the
not much was good about it.
Valhazak. So I ran Valhazak, and then I ran the Arch-Tempered Valhazak. But that
was actually pretty good. Most of the skills were like rearranged in order, so that way they were a little bit more efficient.
Yes.
But it was mostly the same skills.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, then there was also like Behemoth and Leshen, and to be honest, they weren't great.
I
feel like
the
game probably would have been fine without those. Although having a Witcher crossover was a cool idea, and I liked it. But the Final Fantasy one, I don't know. I don't really know about that one.
I get you.
And yeah, sure, they were free, but I mean, like, also, like, if we were to talk to the fans and say that, yeah, they were upset about like the cosmetic weapons, well, I mean, you had cosmetics as an option as far back as World and Iceborne, where you could like literally fill your room up with like decoration, like decorative pieces and like statues and whatnot that you paid for anyways. And then there's also the pre-order bonuses and the premium package of World and Iceborne, where you had like specialty decorations for your little hut where you could make it look like a castle. You could get knight's armor and stuff like that. But I mean, those were things that you paid for.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, even now we still pay for things like haircuts. We pay for specialty tattoos. We pay for gestures and stuff like that.
They,
But it's all purely cosmetic.
they,
How are the weapons any different?
as Eric's often points out, and I agree with him, there is still not a sufficient beard in paid DLC beard for Monster Hunter.
Oh, what I wouldn't give for one of those.
I know.
I might
I want to live out
I
my.
might get the Spearbird Mohawk, and I might get like a pretty. Admiral Gallius beard would be so sick. I'm just saying it needs to be an option, or even what's the name of the old man who wants you to take pictures of like the owls and stuff like that? The guy with the crazy swirly beard.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
That would be a fantastic beard. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
I need
honestly,
beard
like, I don't think that Capcom has gotten so far down the bad road of like gotcha levels of like paid stuff that we're having to pay for like meta stuff. It's not EA.
Right.
I think we're okay.
So
I mean, like, even like oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say that, like, even games like Overwatch, you have to pay for skins or stuff like that. Yeah, I remembered. What was it?
You didn't pay for skins in Overwatch. Those were loot boxes.
In the new one, what is it? Overwatch 2. Now you're paying for skins. It's
that's a better system though than loot boxes because they were only loot boxes before.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now I've been hearing from friends that there are like skins that go on Overwatch 2 for like $40.
Yeah.
What? $40 skins? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I'd rather spend that much money on T-shirts.
Yeah, we had someone in the chat say, you know, they're not enjoying the new microtransactions in Monster Hunter either. Like, it's the problem is that, like, I think, you know, people like us who have been playing since earlier generations are more, you know, adverse to this idea because we don't want to see it turn out like Overwatch, where it's like a $20 skin, or Overwatch 1, where it's a loot box.
No, exactly.
You know, like.
But I mean, like.
Yeah, there's.
Oh no, yeah, you go ahead.
There's just so much. It's weird because, in comparison, Monster Hunter isn't that bad, but it feels like a slippery slope. You know what I mean? It feels like, okay, so if we're willing to pay for this, are you guys willing to pay for this? And it's like, hey, why don't you stop worrying about what we pay for and give us like a Risen Kushala? Or you know, not saying that they aren't working very hard on the next set of monsters or whatnot, right? Like, I'm sure that there are people on the team who are doing such things, but like, it's not the content that most of us care about. You're like you know what I mean? Like, there'll be a few people who will buy the stuff, but the problem is, like, us being bigger fans are we're the minority, right? The majority come in, play the game, get out, right? Me being a crown hunter, you being an armor aficionado, we're obviously playing a lot longer than anyone else. Like, I mean, what my hours are 1,078 right now in Rise / Sunbreak. Like, obviously, I'm in it for the long haul. I literally, about 20 minutes before we started recording, I crowned Violet Mitsune.
Wow, that quickly! Holy crap!
I don't know. I kind of went lax on it for a while. I didn't go like really hard on it. The only thing I have left is Risen Camellius to crown, and that one's gonna be not fun because Risen Camellius, it appears in one quest. Sounds fine, right? But it also appears in 4 locales, and I have to check all 4 locales, but there's so many monsters now that appear in those expeditions that I don't see him appear. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, it's such and you know, the whole afflicted stuff has been really turned me off of playing a bunch as well, which is why you'll see me playing stuff like, I don't know, I'm giving Hollow Knight another chance right now, and I'm giving Power Wash Simulator a run for its money. Like other games. Um,
Exactly.
so Morg, also a fellow Diablo
Mm-hmm.
fan. Um, have you heard about? There's some controversy about this kind of stuff also coming in Diablo 4, monetization in
Oh
Diablo
no,
4.
yeah, I've heard about it where they were actually going to develop some sort of a meta system kind of similar to what they were planning for what they have already established for Diablo Immortal. And
That was
I'm
debunked.
not looking forward to it.
That was debunked. So that level of it was debunked. But right now, as far as we
Oh, thank
know,
God.
there is indeed a season pass, right? But
Yeah.
it's all cosmetics, which again, now when we say cosmetics, we're like, haha, it doesn't matter, it's cosmetics, but they do matter because people will
Mm-hmm.
want them, and people will be like, there is a bit of FOMO, which is kind of the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of a season pass, is to the feeling of missing out, preying on that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I'm all too familiar with that. Thank you, World and Iceborne.
Yeah, and then
Oh boy.
Diablo 4 is also implementing paid skins as well, just like Overwatch. I mean, they're Blizzard, right? They're doing the same thing. They sound like they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be about $10 a skin, which, I'm hoping they're different teams, the Overwatch and Diablo team, but I'm hoping Diablo looks at what's happening with Overwatch 2 and says, "Nah, thanks. We'll handle this a little better." But this
Mm-hmm.
game is, we've been waiting for what, since 2019, so we're going to be 4 years coming on 2023.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know I've
Yeah,
been
like
talking
yeah,
about it
I've
on
been
this
really excited for
podcast.
Diablo 4, so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I mean like yeah, I did hear that yeah, they were going to have a lot of cosmetic stuff and like I don't know. Like I really honestly with Blizzard like anything is up in the air at this point and they may just decide to go back on things and then decide to just start selling people weapons and armor that have like meta skills and stuff like
Oh,
that.
the
But I mean,
rumor was they were bringing back the Real Money Auction House too. And
oh no.
imagine if they did that bull crap. Like there was a whole
Oh
reason
no.
why Reaper of Souls killed it in Diablo 3 because it was hurting the game.
Mhm.
So I don't think that's going to happen. Even when that rumor happened, I was like, they can't be that dumb. They cannot be that dumb.
No. No, I really hope that they don't do that cuz that would be just absolutely stupid. Oh,
So
Blizzard. What do we do with you?
so
You problem child.
so let us shift a gear to what do we want to pay for? What do we want to
Mm.
see? And one of those things that is easy is something like Sunbreak. Uh, being a massive expansion, I have no regrets buying Sunbreak. I love Sunbreak.
Mhm.
Sunbreak in large DLC expansions with a lot of content. Um, I don't remember. It was like what, $40? Was it
Yeah, I think it was
30?
roughly about that. Yeah. I think it might have been what was it? I think it was like $60 up here and with the depreciating value of Canadian currency at like 75 American cents to a Canadian dollar. Yeah, I can see that being about right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that's the kind of content we want to see. I think a lot of people like Sunbreak.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing, and we're paying for an expansion. Uh, as well as another example from another game, Reaper of Souls over Diablo 3. Reaper
Mm-hmm.
of Souls, paying for that kind of, like it's still the same game. You still require the previous game. Expansions, I think, are good DLC. I like decent small DLC missions and stuff like that too. I'm okay with the Necromancer being a DLC in Diablo 3. If you remember that, that was pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It was a new class. It wasn't necessarily required. A lot of people got it because, like, when you got the Switch version came with it. The whatever blah 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 edition. Um, Another thing is I recently played Mass Effect, and Mass Effect has some really cool story DLCs that were
Oh yeah.
included with
Yeah,
what
they've
I
got like
got.
expanded DLC storylines where you can actually branch off and you can do like side quests that have their own extended storyline and stuff like that, but they don't directly impact the game other than like whatever it is that you happen to collect from that mission that you can carry forward into the rest of the storyline.
Right.
But
And
it's
another
its own thing essentially.
right, and another favorite series of mine, Doom. You can actually see the stark difference between what I would consider a good DLC and a bad DLC between Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. All of Doom
Hmm.
2016's content, like all of their expansions and stuff, focused on the multiplayer mode that most people didn't like. I liked it at first, but I ran, like, not gonna lie, Titanfall 2 came out that same year. Titanfall 2's multiplayer blows Doom 2016's out of the water. Like
Yeah.
not even
And
close.
I mean, like on top of that, like Doom has always been considered more of like a single player game, anyways. You play it for the single
Mm,
player content.
not
I
true.
don't know if you
Not true.
really.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, like, yeah, there was like two-player co-op. I mean, like, yeah, I'll admit that much.
it
But I
was
mean, like, still, like,
huge.
you were playing cooperatively,
Yeah.
unless you were a
Well,
dick and you decided to just shoot your partner and kill him, and then like remove all their weapons, and then you're at
don't
the end boss, and you're like, well, fuck, what do we do now, kind of thing.
I
But I mean,
mean, you're the one who gets into Quake, right? So like you love those Quake matches, LAN parties and that kind of stuff. Doom started that. Like that's Doom came up with a
oh
networking
yeah,
system. So Doom is known for its multiplayer, but modern Doom I would say it really, does it better in the single player experience. Like you're saying, modern Doom does a lot
yeah,
better in the single player space. So when Doom Eternal had the single player expansions that not only told more of a story, da, 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 again, I like Doom story, but that's not the thing for me. It was just more levels, harder. Like, were you around Morg when I was playing Doom Eternal's expansions? Were you on the podcast?
I was, yes, and you were getting absolutely destroyed because there. Oh, what
Yeah,
was
like
it?
try
There were a
hard
couple monsters like,
sweating
yeah,
bullets.
where you were like cutting that one hallway where you couldn't dodge left or right, and you were just getting absolutely blasted. Oh my
Yes.
god, that was insane. And I think I remembered actually like seeing some of it,
Yeah,
but I
I
mean like
streamed some of it on Twitch to a very choppy. Yeah, but that was
it
back.
was like it was kind of hard to see, like, cause yeah, it was kind of like yeah, it was a bit laggy, but yeah, holy crap, like some of the stuff that I've seen in there, like that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's for hardcore players right
It
there.
it
I was like,
I am
wow.
proud having beat it on Ultra Violence. Screw Nightmare.
Oh my god.
But like that to me, those are some good examples of what we want to pay for in a game on top of the box price, right?
Yeah,
Like
like we want the experience to be further extended. We want to be able to enjoy more game is what we're hoping to pay for. Like,
right,
that's what the point of an expansion is to it further expand the entirety of the game with
right.
more content, more gameplay, more storyline, more stuff, like actual substance,
So
like microtransactions for like few cosmetic things and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. As
so
long as like you're going to be putting out more storyline and campaigns and whatnot for free,
yeah.
I guess that's okay. That's a decent trade-off. But I mean, like, as long as it's not a game like what would EA would normally come out with, like Battlefront, for example. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
so I have to pay for the game. I have to pay for online service so that way I can play online with other people. And now I have to pay for loot boxes that are going to guarantee meta drops. So then that way I actually do well in the game. I have to pay for characters. So then that way I can use those characters against other people in order to be able to,
Yeah.
get better rounds. And so I am guaranteed to win. No, no, too much paying for little enjoyment. Um, oh, hello, doing podcast. How's your night going? That's great. Okay. Yeah. I'll see you in a bit.
So So yeah, like what is the worst takeaway that Monster Hunter could have from this conversation? To me, I think like okay, like yeah, like let us buy more content, right? Like let us buy, and then they come back and they say, so you wanted to pay for more content and not cosmetics, right? And we were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So then they're like, okay, $10 and you can fight Brachydios and Rise.
Oh, that's terrible. Bracket. Oh no. Oh no 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 no.
Right?
You know what they should do is they should have it so in that way you pay $5 for a whole bunch of for each low tier monster that everybody wanted in the game but never showed up. For example, Sam Trios, Gravios, Ignactor, all the ones that we didn't get,
Oh,
and then
whoa, whoa, whoa,
you have
whoa,
to
whoa,
pay.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
What?
I gotta correct you on something. Gravi's not low tier. Gravius is a high tier monster. It's
Okay,
on.
yeah, he's like mid high tier, but he's not an Elder Dragon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I would consider it high tier. So he's like a good mid tier monster. You know,
Yeah.
he's on par with a lot of
He's
monsters like Tigrex and Mizitsune. You know, a lot of flagships.
Yeah, he's
But
on par with he's like Rathalos level, and Rathalos, he got a promotion in Rise. Like Rathalos is dangerous
Yeah.
in Rise.
Oh God. Okay. Imagine it like this. Imagine if you had to pay for the removal of monsters in your game. Now that would be something stupid. Like everybody has like that one monster that they absolutely despise. They don't want to see it show up. They don't want to have to farm it. Nah, and they
How does
don't
that
even
work?
want like to have to worry about materials from that monster showing up in the weapon tree for the weapons that they want to make. So what are they going to do? They're going to go Capcom. We will pay you money to remove this monster from the game, from the datas, from the files. Just clean it out and make it so that way I can make this weapon without having to use any of their materials.
Man, that
would
is
make me very happy. I bet you 100% that there's somebody out there who is exactly like that. Some crazy bastard who's just like, I hate Rathalos so much. I love his weapons, but I hate that Rathalos is in every single game. Let's have a Monster Hunter with no Rathalos in it. I will pay you $500 to remove Rathalos. And I bet you Capcom would be like, okay, sure thing. And then there's no more Rathalos. It'd be like, what just happened? We'd all be freaking out. We'd be like, you can't have Monster Hunter without Rathalos.
You're not doing it to your file. You're doing it to everyone's file. You're paying 500.
Exactly. Oh my God. Can you imagine that?
That's like a nightmare scenario. Like, could you imagine? There's some like troll group that amasses all this money, remove all the monsters. Like, that'd be ridiculous. That'd be ridiculous. Oh no.
Every monster just became Chameleos in World. Woo!
Yeah.
Just going around the map, just looking for the monster. And then 10 minutes just pops off, and then it's like, oh yeah, you've completed your quest, good job. And you're like, but I haven't hunted anything. Okay,
yeah.
I guess that's the game, and it just gives you materials for free.
They're all bomb badges. There's only bomb badges left in the game.
Yeah, Bombadgy Bowling, that's what it should be. And then, like, yeah, if you get like a perfect score, they just give you like random mantles and shit like that, just so you can make like armor and materials, just so you can play better Bombadgy Bowling. Yep. Oh boy,
yeah,
that's pristine content right there for a game. Yeah, just make the next Monster Hunter 6 Bombadgy Bowling. Yep. I would play that 100%. And it has to be a Wii exclusive. It has to be on a dead console, one that nobody even has access to anymore. So they have to go to a retro game shop.
Yeah, I was going to say the retro game shops still have them for sure.
Oh, yeah, fuck it. Do it. Capcom, let's see it happen. Oh my God.
I'd play I'd play a spin-off of Bombadgy Bowling.
That'd be a great game. Oh, I would definitely play it. Oh, why do I feel like it's something like Boom Blocks or like Super Monkey Ball, like some sort of a party game that you would only see on a Nintendo console?
The Steven Spielberg produced game Boom Blocks. I love that information about it.
Oh, Steven Spielberg, like, oh my God, that's his best work. It's better than any of his other works. E.T. was fine and all, but I think Boom Blocks I think that one takes the cake. That's my number one Spielberg masterpiece right there. E.T.'s a close second. Maybe even Super 8. Super 8's pretty good too, but Boom Blocks. Boom
Hey,
Blocks is where
Super
it's at.
Super 8's an Ohio movie. I am all for that. And it takes place
I'll,
in
I'll let that. I'll let that be your number one. Boom Blocks can be your number two if you want.
yeah.
if
We
you've
just
ever
we just
have
had
you ever played?
Boom Blocks? Oh yeah, dude, I love Boom Blocks.
It's a great game. It's like Jenga, but like on crack. Wonderful
with
game.
with cannonballs and really
Oh
weird messed up like Roblox looking sheep and monkeys and
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
oh my god. Yeah. Great character design. Oh my god.
I was gonna say like Steven
Oh.
Spielberg create we recently had this, you missed one of the the last quiz. Um
Oh.
there's Spielberg
Spielberg. Yep.
Spielberg, that's his evil brother that steals his ideas and produces them.
No.
Uh,
Oh
um
no.
so he created the Medal of Honor series. I don't know if you know that, but
Really?
yes, he did. Steven Spielberg created the company and like hand like hands on with the Medal of Honor series of games, and because of his work on Saving Private Ryan. So this came up in the quiz show that you missed. So because
Oh.
we're gonna have our next quiz show probably I'm just gonna have to look on my phone. um yeah, actually it's another 5 weeker, so we're gonna have Monster Hunter next
Huh.
week and then another wild card, but the week after that's gonna be the next quiz, so
Okay, yeah.
which will be November 5th. Yeah, we've run into another 5 weeker.
Oh wow, I had no. I'm actually really surprised that it's actually November. Holy smokes! Yeah, I forgot. October is almost over. Holy
Not
smokes!
really. We're halfway through. It's the 15th.
Yeah.
So
Holy smokes!
yeah, it's gonna be
Time's flying.
yeah. Um, so all of the joking aside,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm okay with people paying for the DLC for the weapons. I'm okay with people buying them. I don't think they deserve
Mm-hmm.
to be kicked, but I do
No.
agree this is not really what I want to see in Monster Hunter. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
layer my armor 9 out of 10 times. Like if I'm
Oh wow.
I don't even none of my weapons are layered, none of my armor's layered. Right now what I'm rocking is full flaming Espinus with um a silver Los helm. That is
Ooh.
that is the aesthetic I like, and that is the also the armor I am actually wearing. So,
Wow. It is a pretty good set. Like actually, like Flaming
yeah.
Espinasse is actually pretty solid. Um.
And I forgot
Yeah.
this last week. I couldn't. Ace and I were talking about it. I couldn't remember what they changed chain crit to. It's burst. Burst is the
Yeah.
name
It's
of the skill.
burst.
So
I'm kind of a little confused with Gold Rathian having burst on her armor set because it only really affects the raw. Um, burst doesn't affect status ailments at all. It's just elements,
one of
and
her skills does though.
that would be status trigger, and
Yeah.
that's when you time a perfect roll into an attack. All of your attacks will deal 100% guaranteed a status buildup.
Yep.
So it makes it so that your weapons are like 3 times as efficient at being able to deal the status buildup that you need in order for you to be able to take advantage of skills like foray
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, there's a bunch. But I mean, like, yeah, like I've been running. I think it's the gold loon helmet and the waist,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's really solid. Really, actually, it's actually helped me to get through Ibushi. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I mean, like again, yeah, purely cosmetic paid purchases. I don't think that that's really something that's anybody's concern. I mean, Warhammer promotes that idea of like you can get characters, you can pay literally for characters if you wanted to, but I mean most people don't,
Yeah.
and you're not going to really get shunned for it. But I mean, like, people are usually more impressed with you if you're actually able to grind that stuff out and you actually get the character without having to spend like $80 or $90 just to unlock Nidus or Rhino or whatever. But again, I mean, like, purely cosmetic purchases don't hurt the game. I don't think
No.
that they hurt the game. It's when you have to pay for things that are like, like meta armor sets, meta weapons, or like a brand new weapon design. Like if there was like a 15th weapon that you wanted and you could only get it through ping,
That'd be
for that
nuts.
DLC.
That would yeah, that's worse than the buying
That
a
would
monster.
ruin everything. I think that would ruin the entire fundamentals of the game, like as a whole. Like if you had to pay for the use of certain weapon classes and stuff like that, that would ruin my enjoyment of the game 100%.
Imagine if it was a
And yeah, having to
subscription
pay for
fee.
monsters.
Imagine if it was like a subscription fee. Like you didn't pay your weekly thing to have the boomerang weapon, so it's gone.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, and battle passes for you to be able to have access to certain monsters. Oh,
So-
that's terrible.
So okay, I'm gonna pivot here. Back to EA and that kind of stuff. How bad is this gonna be with was it Wild Hunt, the new EA Monster Hunter hunting game?
Oh yeah,
Wild Hearts.
I remembered. A lot of people have been raving and raging about this game. It's very. I like the aesthetic of it, and I like
Me
the
too.
idea of it.
Me too.
But my hopes for it are
it's
not
EA,
very high.
right? It's EA. So
Yeah,
So what are we?
I've been around for Anthem. I've paid $80 for Anthem. Okay,
Oh no!
guys.
Do you remember my reaction to that trailer? Do you remember?
Oh.
Because I was like, oh yes, this looks so cool. I'm in it. And then like those two letters pop up on the screen with that logo, EA, and I was like, I'm out. Not buying it. Not buying it. And I was 100% right.
Yeah, me and my brother, we were actually pretty hyped for it, and like, yeah, my brother was like, "Oh man, this is the redemption arc EA needed. Let's go for it. Let's see if we can make content with it." And so, I bought it, and my brother bought it.
Nope.
And my brother played it, and he was so disappointed. And I was like, I don't know what to do now, man. Like, and he managed to. Well, no, I don't think
was he the
one.
one.
They managed to give him some of his money back, but they didn't give it all back, and that just made him even more pissed off with EA. So now he will never touch anything EA.
Yeah.
What was it like? In a matter of a couple of months, it dropped to like $20 and $15. Now it's like $5. I think it was at $5 at one point. Who knows? It might even be free. Hell, they might even pay you money just to get the game.
It didn't. You still have to pay for Evolve. Like Evolve, you still have to pay for. So I doubt people are giving it away for free. So
I honestly, with what we got for Anthem, yeah, it should have been for free. And like the fact that they couldn't even like get like another group in to try and salvage it, it became officially abandonware.
Yeah.
After they worked on it to try and patch it up and fix it, they were just like, it's just too much work. Fuck it. We're just gonna leave it. And I was like, this is unbelievable.
Oh.
This was their chance to actually make Anthem a good game. And then they did that, and I was like, wow. Unbelievable.
I hope you didn't hear that, audience, or something. My mic went nuts. I don't know if you saw it or something, but
oh, I didn't hear anything.
Good. Hopefully the audience didn't hear that, because I looked at my sound wave, and it was just like going nuts with some sort of electrical sound.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm gonna have to remind myself of that in editing, because that's gonna look bad.
Yeah, you might want to play that back at some point. I'm not quite sure how far into the audio it is. It is 15 minutes into the audio.
Yeah.
Okay, well now we know where it is. Perfect. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, EA has done nothing but disappoint me. CD Projekt Red with with what I found out about Cyberpunk after my brother played it all the way through, got his money back, and then used it to buy like 3 other discount games with that money after playing Cyberpunk all the way through and got all the different endings. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that one. I remember the Cyberpunk one.
the cut sequences at the very beginning of the game was like a whole other half of the game that you were supposed to play, but you never got the chance to because they never finished the damn game. So could you imagine what Cyberpunk 2077 what would have been like if it was twice as big as what we had already gotten?
Right.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. If they just sat down and actually spent time to finish the damn game, we could have had something absolutely incredible. But that's what you get when you get a rush project. And
yeah.
a lot of people like paid for the game in advance. So like it's like making a down payment on like a freaking Tesla or something like that. That's what this would equate to. Only instead of getting a Tesla, you get some person's beat up old station wagon and catalytic converters drag it across the ground. It doesn't even have a skid plate. That's basically what CD Projekt Red did with Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like everybody trusted them because they were renowned for The Witcher. So I mean, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm hoping that Capcom does not go down this route.
I still like them for good old games. Like, I still like good old games. Like,
good old games is pretty good. I mean, like the fact that I'm able to find like a lot of my favorite retro games on there and for the cheap.
I mean, your Gothic series is on there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're remaking Gothic. Did you know that? They're remaking it.
Yeah. I hope that they give them better controls this time. Oh boy. I'm so tired of dying.
Oh boy. So, oh man. So I tend to buy a lot of DLC even for games I don't finish because like I don't want to like I want to have the full experience per se. So like one of my worst purchases that I've done. The game Stellaris, the 4X exploration game.
Oh yeah, Stellaris. Yeah, that's that real-time strategy game where you play in a galaxy or whatever, and you get like your own quadrant, and you're trying to build an empire, and you're competing against everybody. It's basically Victoria 2, but in space. And it probably makes more sense because there are a whole bunch of bullshit underlying mechanics that are intertwined with each other that people have no idea how they work. So but they just know that they work.
I bought that game and all of its DLC for like $80 on sale.
Whoa,
on sale.
That is amazing.
All right. Now, I paid $80 to open up the game, be like, this is way too complicated for me, and never play it again.
Oh my god! Well, it is a very complex game.
Yes, yeah, it
like, there's so many it's so heavily nuanced that you have to know what you're doing. You have to really be like very enthusiastic and impassioned.
So what I've done, so the guy I talked about, I've gotten a little out of Monster Hunter a bit. Like I just played today because my brother and I were playing together. And he has not been playing as much games. I've also said this a lot of times. He's normally my hunting partner, but he's gone to anime land. He has been watching tons of anime instead of playing games. So we had an opportunity to play today. So I was glad for that. So I've trying to been like play some other games and get into some other things and stuff. And another game that's kind of older that I've gotten really into is Skyline the city builder.
Oh, yeah.
So I found this YouTuber called City Planner Plays. And he's a real life city planner that plays city skylines. And he talks about like real life scenarios of like why you would do this and why it's important and like why you shouldn't do this. So like, and he'll explain how Skylines has its limitations as a game, and then also the things that you can do as a game that are prohibitively expensive in real life. So he has this great, like, I love him for this content, and back to the DLC talk, like he has every mod, every expansion, and he's like, so we're going to use this piece from this expansion or this piece from this mod because I like how it looks. And like he's got like so many tools on his belt, and he knows how to like terraform the land perfect way with different tools and stuff and paint these things. And like I first played this on Switch a while back, and I did really well. But then I played, I played on PC now occasionally, and I'm like trying to build a city the way he does, and I'm like, I don't know what is going on. Like I don't like this guy. He's like a wizard, and I'm just trying to like even like use a fraction of the knowledge he's been spitting out. That I've been watching
Oh
this guy
my
for like a
god.
year, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing, man. Like it's amazing what he does. So like, okay,
Oh my
so
god.
you played these things, right? You've played these like Sims or
Yeah, simulators. Yep, oh, they're so fun.
So one of the things he does that I was like, I didn't even I like duh like this is how they would do it in real life. Why wouldn't you do it in this? Every single water line follows a road. Every single one. I was like, okay, sure. That one
Hmm.
was easy to pick up. I'm easy to do that. But then he builds all of his houses with a single space in between them. The zoning. So he ends
Oh.
up getting these really large, like high paying houses because they're not crowded, right? So like because a
Oh.
single square line between every house, so he'll zone it out. So he's like building individual houses instead of just zoning the whole area and being saying, figure it out. Like like the game does. He's just like painting individual zones, which I thought it only had a fill tool. I was like, you can paint individual squares. Like holy cow. Um,
Oh my god.
and stuff like he was teaching you how to build a logging industry in one of the ones I watched recently. Like, here's what you got to do, and he was talking about traffic patterns and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, please teach me your ways. I am unworthy. Like,
Oh my god. This guy's like an absolute wizard. You
yes.
weren't lying. Oh my god, that's so cool.
So I've gotten
Yeah.
more into that kind of stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
recently replayed Bayonetta 1 and 2. Uh, Coming up
Mm-hmm.
because 3 is coming up on the 28th, which I mistakenly thought was coming out on the 10th. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I finished Bayonetta 1 and 2. I've just been playing a crap ton of games more, like it just like
Mm.
all the time. But I've been dropping a lot of games too. Like I've been start it and drop it. So, are you gonna get Scarlet and Violet? Are you gonna go for the new Pokemon?
No,
No.
because honestly, like I've played around with the idea of having three types on my Pokemon before, and the more that I think about it, the more that I realize that it just completely screws up the dynamics of super effective, not very effective, doesn't affect like the whole
Where
table
are you getting the three
just
types
becomes
from? Is
completely
this
screwed up.
something confirmed in Scarlet and Violet that I didn't know?
There's like some sort of like geomancy power or whatever it is that allows your Pokemon to be able to take on a third type if possible, depending upon, I think it was, I can't remember. This was a while back when I was first looking at the trailer where they had like a flying type Pikachu or a rock type Pikachu. And then there was like your fire starter gets further powered up by having a fire type transformation and stuff like that. Like it's
I've
an
never heard
interesting
anything of
gimmick.
this. Huh.
Let me see if I can actually bring it up.
Okay,
Let me
I was
see.
going off the base of Arceus. You played Arceus, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I mean, like, it's a cool idea. Let me see. Gimmick. Let me see if I can find what the new Scarlet and Violet gimmick is. Uh, Gameplay gimmick. What is this gameplay gimmick? I remembered seeing it before. It is
That's insane.
called. Oh, what is it? God damn it! Ugh, stupid. Oh my god! Of course, it won't let me on there because I've got ad blocker. Why? Why? Why?
So
Why? Why? Why?
so while you're doing
Um.
that, I did you look into Temtem, which is supposed to be at another Pokemon game?
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's what it's called. It is called terastallizing. It allows your Pokemon to change into a new type. They're Terra type and powers up the moves that they use until the end of the battle. So I am assuming, and this is just an assumption because I haven't like looked into this deeply enough, but I'm thinking that what they're doing is they're making it so that your monster can be terraformed into a new type or get an additional type based off of their move pool. So if they have, like, say, an electric type move and they're not an electric type, they can be terraformed to be an electric type, so in that way they can have a stab corresponding to their move pool. So I mean, like, if Pokemon are going to have a third type added into the weakness and resistance table, it's going to fuck everything up, and it's going to be very, very weird. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to play a game like that. It's a cool idea. I like the textures. I like that they've upped the graphics in the game, and I like the idea of them having a Legends Arceus style Pokemon game again. But I don't think that that's what we're getting. I think that battles are going to be the traditional turn-based system as they were before.
The Arceus battles were a little janky. Like, don't get me wrong. The Arceus battles.
Oh God, Legends Arceus. Yeah. If you want me to describe what turn-based bullshit I've had to deal with in Legends Arceus, the ancestor to Wally, the chef who gives you the potato nom nom whatever it is, the weird Japanese dish, you find out he's a ninja, and he's also Wally's ancestor, and he comes at me with a Sneasler. I have an Umbreon now on the field. He used Quick Attack 4 times in a row and then tried to finish me off with a close combat, and I had a sliver of health, just the teeniest little sliver. But I was so lucky that my Umbreon had just the right amount of defense boosts for him to be able to take that hit. But oh my God, that was so dumb because he went for, I think it was 4 agile style quick attacks and then a strong style close combat, and I was like, holy shit, I am not going to make it. But
I had a cleaver in my party. That cleaver did some damage. I'd go for the strong type move, and I would be like, hit, and he's like, he's a rock type, so he's got a high defense, so he's just like, sure, whatever, slash, like, dead. Like, I loved my cleaver. He was like level 94 when I finished the game. Like,
oh my God,
he was ripped. Yeah, I actually really am excited for Scarlet and Violet, but I didn't know about the type changing stuff. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
Just like with Monster Hunter, I'm not a fan of the end game mechanics that they do all the time with the Afflicted and stuff. I don't care for the gimmicks in Pokemon. I'm probably, if it's annoying enough, what I'll probably do is I'll probably just be like Bug Trainer Cham again, and I will just only do bugs. And my Fuecoco, I'm so getting a Fuecoco. I am in love.
Oh yeah,
I am in love with that fire alligator.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. Oh, it's weird because he looks like something between like a jalapeno, and his face looks like a half-cut apple. Like you see it too, right?
So do you remember when I was super excited about Mitsune being a Bubble Bobble dragon? That's what Fuecoco reminds me of, is the Bubble Bobble, the Taito dragon.
Yes. Yes, that is exactly what he looks like. Oh my God, I just... My mind's been blown.
Yeah, like, all other people may know it as Bust-A-Move. You know, the Taito little dragons. That's why I'm in love with him. Like, 100%. So
I think as far as like games I've like picked up and dropped, I've been picking up a lot more chess. And I watched a video of this guy promoting this incredible board. It is insane. It has a built-in AI system. Like it is like top of the line, cutting edge AI technology where you can play against a computer with varying levels of AI difficulty. You have a help you system that actually teaches you principles and textbook like turn by turn like plans based off of like games from like grandmasters as far as like 200 years ago. It tells you like what moves are ideal based off of the position that you're in, what moves your opponent's positions are in, and it allows you to not only play with an AI that's built into the board, it allows you to be able to play against like the most cutting edge AI that has been developed by the chess community, Stockfish. It allows you to be able to play like via blue. I think it's Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and it allows you to be able to hook up to your phone and be able to also register the app on your phone. It also allows you to be able to play online against other people from anywhere on the globe. If they're playing on their computer, click with the mouse or whatever, you can play against them using a physical board.
Wow.
You can also play against other people who also have the same copy of this board. So you can play a physical board with anywhere in the world. It's a $500 board.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. That was the special monitor I have right here that I can draw on. That's that kind of money. So
it is. I'm like, I need this board.
I am not that much of a chess enthusiast. Holy cow.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I want to play it so bad. Oh,
we actually had a discussion, I think yesterday, my brother and I did, about chess with someone. And my brother was known for being like the school chess champion and really good at chess and whatnot. And then someone asked him, like, why don't you still play chess? He's like, because the amount of effort and the amount of studying it would take to get me to the next level is not worth it. So I will play at my level and be done with it. Like, he's just very like, which is still way above me. Like, I was telling him, so he has this problem where he is so good at strategic games that people often focus him in a multiplayer game. And this happens a lot to him in the Magic League he plays in too. He went in with a pre-con deck, right? Didn't change anything. Went in with a pre-con. Got focused out. People were specifically teaming up on him in the Commander League to get him out because he thinks on such a next level of these strategy games that he doesn't even realize what he's doing. Like, he thinks he's being his idea of himself is the Joker from Dark Knight. He's like, do I look like a guy with a plan? Like that line. Like that's what he sees himself as. But everyone else sees him as like
the mastermind.
The mastermind, like Lex Luthor, or like something like,
oh my god,
thinking like 30 steps ahead of everybody. So he has this problem where people like, and he really doesn't try to do that, but he's so good at strategic games. He's like, yeah, you just do this, this, and this. So we used to have this every once in a while. We would play this RTS, Stronghold Legends, and we would play it against, it was me, two buddies from college, and my brother. And we would do free-for-alls. And those free-for-alls would inevitably turn into team up on Chauncey. Because he is destroying all three of us simultaneously.
Oh my god.
And still building up his resources. Like professional StarCraft level, like working against three opponents. The only way I could beat him was sacrificing my team, because I played like the dark, the evil people or whatever. So you had these bat suicide units that would go in, blow up a bunch of units, right? I would only make that unit and just send them every time they were new, just suicide his team. Just boom.
Oh my god.
Boom. So I had nothing. I had no one other than resource gathering like peons just to make bats. Just to make these giant war bats that would just suicide bomb him. And then the other two could have a normal match. Like, that was the only way we could have a normal game, is if I specifically depleted my resources to their extent to keep him from gaining anything.
Just to suppress him, so then that way you could actually have a normal game. So you have to literally handicap your own brother in the game in order to be able to make it so it could work.
Here's the thing.
Oh
Lord.
my god.
Guess what? He still always won. Eventually I would get too slow and I wouldn't have enough bats to keep him down. And I would be crippled and he would build back up and then finish me off, and then he would finish off the other two.
Oh no.
So that's how good he is. That's how good he is at this stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me an awful lot of StarCraft 2 online, where we would do 3v3s, and what I would do is I would play as the Zerg deliberately, and I would just send my drones out to try and get as many hatcheries down as possible, and then just like mine the ever-living crap out of the places that I had, and just put like bases in as many places as I could, just so then that way I could just pump the other players full of resources, and so then that way they would just create these insanely huge armies, and then everybody would be like wondering, where are they getting all this stuff from?
Right.
And I'm like, and so yeah, like that's literally what we would do. We'd be like, okay, we'll give you guys 5 minutes. We'll take 5 minutes, and then we'll start the game at a 5-minute point, whatever. And then they're like, Morgan, do the thing. And I'll be like, all right, I'm on it. And then I just get those queens going in, pumping up larvae, just making a shit ton of drones. And I'd be like racking in like 5,000 like every 10 seconds. And I'd be like, yes. There you go. 10,000 for you. 10,000 for you. Don't worry, I'm going to make more. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden, people started catching on. They're like, "Wait a minute, where is he going?" And then they'd like look at the map and they'd be like, "Oh my God, they've got a whole bunch of Zergs everywhere." And then I also noticed that some other people were also copying my idea as well, where they'd send the one guy out as a Zerg player just to try and take up the whole map and take all the resources and then pump their team. It's so funny. Oh my God, it's a really cheesy and really bad way to play, but God, it's so fun.
So today, I don't have the girls this weekend because parenting schedules stuff for me has changed where I don't have them every weekend now. But so we went to a friend of mine and we played this game called Spirit Island. Have you ever heard of this board game?
I don't think I've ever heard of it before, but I'm really curious now.
It took us 4 hours to play a game. So a single match because we played it. We played a long haul. So Spirit Island is, you are these ancient spirits that live on this island with the natives, that these conquistador settlers are trying to take over the island. They are the bad guys. And you as the spirits are trying to kill them, scare them away, whatever. There's several victory conditions. And the different spirits have different powers and whatnot and can do different things. So today we played a more difficult scenario. We played we have normally played it even base game, like we'll say difficulty 0, right? Like just the normal game, which you can still lose if you don't play right. But every time I've played, we've won. So we're like, okay, we'll take a difficulty. So we went it up to 3. We went to difficulty 3. And we had my brother who would defend, because like it's a little weird because you have the map is separated into different biomes, and each land has 2 versions of every biome. So it's everyone has their own section of the map they're sitting in front of. You can, of course, go to other people's maps because they're all connected. But essentially, there was 3 of us playing, and it's cooperative, by the way. This is why I like it. It reminds me of your Zerg Rush thing. So you have your own land, and it consists of like 2 marshlands, 2 mountains, 2 plains, like 2 forests, or whatever. Like all these different biomes. And you flip over a card and it says, okay, explore in this biome. So like you'll have people explore, like the bad guys exploring in that area. And then flip over, build in this biome. So they build cities, they build towns, and that kind of stuff. And that, and then ravage in this biome, and it's where the enemy units deal damage to the biome, like basically cutting down trees,
Oh,
making
yeah.
it farmland or whatever, and they'll cause a blight if you don't defend it. So you have to sort of keep this whole idea managed. You have to keep them away from certain things. You're trying to manage, like, okay, so they're going to build here, so we need to get them out of here before they ravage here, and it's just like a lot of complex stuff that you got to handle. Today, I played the Slumbering Serpent, which was my great spirit or whatever. And I don't remember what my other friend played, but my brother, he played this defending rock thing that was good at defending things. And my friend, he played things that would like move things around and wouldn't kill them. So like we had a very like non-kill game. So there was a lot of bad guys on the board. And I was the slumbering serpent. And what I did is I gave them resources. And that's it. That's all I did is for the beginning of the game. And then at the end of the game, I was giving them resources, giving them so like energy to play their cards, right? But then like
Mm-hmm.
you can do bigger, better attacks and stuff with these like all the cards have these symbols of like fire, water, and so elements, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was giving people resources, giving them elements, giving them super powerful cards for free, which normally these powerful cards you have to like delete a card out of your deck to use it. And I was giving them
Oh,
to
wow.
and I was giving those to for free because they're that powerful. So like because I was supporting so much, my friend got this card that says take one of those sections that someone's in front of, destroy all bad guys in that section. Which is like unprecedented.
Somebody looks lucky.
So
Yes.
with our support and our powers combined, we won the game because he was able to destroy so many people and so many things. Your victory conditions get easier as time goes on, but you're closer to losing. So like your victory
Mm-hmm.
conditions in the first era is like no settlers anywhere, like no explorers, no villages, no cities. Second one
Mm-hmm.
is like no villages and no cities, right? Last one is no cities. So we were on the last one, and all the cities got pushed onto my brother's side of the map, and then he was like, "We just remove that map and destroy everything on it." That's what this card does.
Oh my
But I had
God.
to give him like it was to the point where so a normal amount of energy I would say is like 5, right? You get like because you can play like there's a bunch of ones and twos, and sometimes you'll get like higher expensive cards that give you like worth 5 and 8, but you do a lot of saving up to play those. I was getting
Mm-hmm.
12 energy a turn and giving them 4 energy a turn and giving them like I was just like here you go, take it all, and I'm getting
What
some, and
the?
everyone's getting cards, and everyone's putting down stuff, and I was just like, yes, but like I started off so slow. I was like getting 1 energy a turn, and then I was like getting like 1 card a turn, and I'd be like, this is my play for the whole turn, this one thing, and they're like, why aren't you doing it like this is what this does? But like as I started going, I got stronger and stronger. Like this character was a slow build up, so like it was amazing. It's an
Mm-hmm.
expensive and it's a long game, but it's very fun. I think you would probably enjoy it a lot more. It's like mega. It's like a cooperative Risk, is the way I would put it.
Oh.
I feel like
Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna definitely look this up. Let me see. Spirit Island. Okay.
yeah, I would pick up a copy myself if I wouldn't the opportunity to play with someone if this guy didn't already have everything. So it's like why buy it when he already has everything. So
Oh yeah, it's totally a game. Oh wow. Okay, so it is. Huh. Let me see. So I can get it at greater than games. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay, so it
it's got a
Spirit Island
lot
plus
of
the
expansions.
expansions insert with okay. I can get it for like $80 if it comes with the wooden organizer set, and it comes with the expansions. That's not bad.
Yeah, and there was just a brand
I
new
might
release
consider that.
that we saved the brand new pieces for because another friend was supposed to join us today, but he wasn't able to. So we were
Mm,
like, we'll save that for when he's here. Um, so we didn't do the new expansion, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Like
and that's
that was like from 1 to 5 o'clock today. Like that was what I was
oh
doing.
wow. And that's another great example of like where you would actually spend your money for expansions, for like literally content that further extends the game, that actually
Right.
like further impacts the enjoyment of the game, building on the gameplay. Oh, yeah. That's wow. That's actually a great way to sum. Oh my god, full circle. Full circle. Beautiful work. Well
So
done.
do you have any other thoughts on? Because like I think we both agree that the kicking people is too far, right? Like, but
Yes.
I also don't want to see more paid DLC content like this in Monster Hunter. But
Mhm.
overall, it's rather inoffensive. But I would rather not see it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's not hurting anybody that it is there, but I mean, it is creating something of a shoe in the door for, more opportunities for them to probably try and take more liberties. And with what we've seen from like other big game developers and what they've been trying to get away with,
Right.
yeah, like it's understandable to be a little bit more leery about this stuff and to kind of be on edge with paid DLC content and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, I have not seen anything yet from Capcom where you've had to pay for like like for stuff that is like game changing in like the quality of like a certain product that they are selling that is very exclusive. So I mean, like, paying for an expansion, that's totally fine because it's essentially a
Yeah.
second game in
I mean,
one.
it feels
Like
like it.
you're paying for a second game.
I think
Um,
Sunbreak had less content than I wanted it to and expected, but it's still worth the
mhm.
money.
Yeah, honestly, like I've actually been enjoying it quite a lot. I'm actually quite surprised. Um, yeah, honestly, I see really nothing very wrong with the game as far as like as I've been playing it, but I mean I've been playing it very casually.
Yeah.
I can understand that there's going to be people that are going to be playing the games, you know, a little bit more fervently and like a little bit more um what's the word I'm looking for? Um they're really going to like sink their teeth into it and like
Yeah.
really dig their roots into it and then like like play it to its absolute fullest in like a very short amount of time. I get that. There are people who are like that, but I mean, like, uh, my life is just way too busy to be playing video games all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, with the amount of content that I do have and that I'm able to get through, it is a very enjoyable game because it is actually taking me a lot longer than it would normally for me to be able to get through a game. I was able to get through 4U in a very short amount of time, and yet I still enjoyed it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I'm actually surprised with less content. It's actually taking me longer because
Well, your life
now
changed
I have
quite
to
a
be
bit.
an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. Your life changed quite a bit since then. Yeah.
1 year was all it took, and then everything's just been completely changed. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have a lot else to say on the topic. What about you, Morg? I think we can wrap it up today,
Uh,
unless you got some more to say.
I think all I'm going to say is I'm going to trust Capcom on this one. I mean, like
Yeah.
they're really the company that seems to be they seem to be a pretty good and trustworthy company. I think that they know what they're doing. Um, the company that was responsible for the making of Warhammer is pretty decent, and I think that Capcom is probably taking a page out of their book. Purely cosmetic stuff is what's is the name of the game.
Right.
And as the game goes along, like there's going to be more expansions and whatnot, and it's stuff that you don't really like. Like for Warframe, you don't pay for the expansions and stuff like that.
No,
You
you pay for
you're really
the
contributing. Yeah, you're
characters
contributing
almost.
through like through the aesthetics and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
it's more or less like a donation than anything else. But yeah, with Capcom, we're paying for the game, and you are paying for the option to add, silly clothes and, different armor skins and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Not that big of a deal. I think that maybe people are blowing it way out of proportion. It's not uncommon to see this in the video gaming community for people to blow things out of proportion. It is a game.
Fair.
Don't
That's
worry about it. If you have a problem with it, don't pay for it. Don't worry about it. There's always something else that you can do.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So like I said, next week we're gonna do more Monster Hunter guessing. This will be our third episode of this.
Oh
With
dear God.
Sasha. You missed some funny ones. You missed Kazoo.
Oh really, Kezu? Oh my
Yeah.
God! How? Oh no! Now I'm gonna have to go back into the podcast episodes and try and find that one. Which episode is that one? 200 and
I can tell you. So the audience, if you want to catch up, oh goodness. Okay, so tracks. 233. Episode 200.
233. I will be listening to that one tonight. That one's going to be a fun one. Oh boy.
Yep.
Yes. I'm really looking forward to that one.
So
Oh boy,
that's
I can only I'm going to try and guess along and see how many I get wrong.
so yeah, so we'll be doing that again next week, and then the week after we'll have another wild card because it's another 5 week month. So and hopefully we have everyone. Although Ace is coming up really close on his kid's due date, so we might be missing him for a couple weeks after that.
Wait a minute. Ace has got a kid?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
It's been
I
a
didn't-
while. He hasn't talked about it too much, but his fiance is with child, and she's due sometime soon ish. So
Tell that guy to get that wedding ring on her already. Holy shit.
I mean, he's
Stop
he's
beating around the
been
bush, buddy.
COVID really messed with those plans. I think.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
He had
Can't
invited
really have a wedding.
I'm actually invited to go, but he hasn't told me any details. I think they've not really solidified it quite yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, hopefully something turns out, hopefully everything goes, I don't really want to say according to plan because I mean, like, I'm hoping that they're able to get the wedding all sorted out and, before having to worry about labor pains and such. But I mean,
oh no,
you
she's
gotta do
already
what you
there.
gotta do.
She's already there. Like
Oh,
I'm guessing. I'm guessing she's already there. Not like already having the kid. That's not why he's not here. But
yeah.
it's soon.
Yeah, but they're probably already getting to the point. But we'll see. I don't know. Man, hey, you know what? I would like to see him, carry her over the altar, with the, I mean, although they could do it like, kind of like a.
you talk about the
what's word?
threshold.
Like a Matrushka. They could do like the whole Matrushka doll thing where, he'll be carrying her and she'll be carrying the baby and the baby will be carrying a toy. And, yeah, they could totally
Okay.
do it like that. That'd be a great way to carry her up the altar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not
Yeah.
okay.
maybe he can make the baby his best man.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know who's in the wedding party. I know I'm just invited. So
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what that turns out. But I think it's going to be a happy occasion. Congratulations, Ace.
Yeah. So we exciting stuff for him coming. So yeah, next week we're going to guess some more monsters, and it's going to be hilarious. And I'm going to laugh my butt off because Sasha's going to describe them, and both of you are going to be like, what? And I was timing them this time too with Ace. So we have reduced it. There's between each clue, between of my clues, by the way.
Oh.
We're gonna have a 1 minute timer, and she's describing her clues all along. Eventually, she runs out, but like, yeah. So we have less dead air because we had to cut a lot of dead air of the first one.
Oh, I
So-
can imagine. Yeah.
So
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I was really deep in thought. Oh my god! Like, oh, you guys had me stumped for a lot of them, and they were so obvious. But the way she was describing them, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
is
yeah,
she
that's what
talking about?
that's what makes it so interesting because she's so on the outside. She doesn't think like us, and I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh.
So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in and watching, and thank you. We had a very active user in the comments. Thank you for the feedback there. I know I didn't respond much. I'm very bad at the Twitch thing. I'm sorry.
I would have responded if I had my Twitch open, but unfortunately, it screws around with a lot of stuff going on. So
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm terribly sorry.
It's
I wasn't
okay.
able to see any of it.
So again, thank you for everything. You can follow us at HunterSubPod on Twitter. You'll see me on there. You're actually going to see tonight. You're going to see my Violet Mitsune post where I show that I crowned it. I've got one monster left. It's just the Camellius, which I will not. I will not be working on tonight. No way. No, like I don't like doing that monster by myself. So I'm going to wait for Chance.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get some time in tomorrow. We have basically a day off tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I normally, you think weekends are a day off. When you're a single dad, weekends are not a day off. But I don't have the kids for the next 2 weekends. So this weekend and next.
Yeah.
So
I have a morning shift first thing. Yeah.
oh, that's wonderful. Well, at least it's money,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes, it is. It's 40 hours a week. And you know what? I will take that $15 and a nickel.
yeah.
Booyah. That nickel raise is great. It's paying the bills, baby.
And then also, even though Ace isn't here, be sure to follow him at Ace Badger Gaming on Twitter. He does a lot of Monster Hunter content. He does a lot of social stuff too, which I don't do a lot of, but I normally agree with Ace. I just don't like to get political. Yeah, boy, those two. Sasha and Ace, sometimes before a show, they will stress me out with all the heavy political stuff, and then we're like, right into the show, and I was like, how do you do this to me? And then afterwards, we talk about heavy political stuff, and I'm just like, please stop. It's hurting my soul.
Don't worry. I won't be talking about the Freemasons here anyways.
So yeah, so thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Morg. I'm glad to have you back. It was a long break, but life comes in the way first, so that's understandable. So
my pleasure to always be here.
Yep, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, take care everyone.
Laters.